Tom, the SEC is reportedly investigating Elon Musk's tweet about a possible buyout of Tesla. The Wall Street Journal says regulators want to know if the message was factual. An SEC spokeswoman and Tesla declined to comment. Meanwhile, Bloomberg's been told that Musk also talked to Masayoshi Son last year about SoftBank investigating in Tesla and taking the company private. Sources say negotiations stumbled when Musk proposed taking disproportionate control. Well, joining us now is David Madden. He's an analyst at CMC Markets. David, where do we go from Tesla? We're on like day 3, and we still don't really know what the plans from Elon Musk for Tesla are.
I think it's all going to be about intent. Mr. Musk obviously issued that tweet a couple of nights ago. The share price really hasn't moved a whole lot in either direction. In fact, according to Market, the short interest in the stock has actually ticked a bit higher. So there's a lot of disbelief out there that Mr. Musk somehow has about $71 billion worth of funding lined up. And without any actual evidence or any further details about this funding, there's a lot of speculation about where's the money coming from.
Right, but so David, there are like 25 angles, right, on this story. So what are your top 3 angles? Is it, the Saudis also looking to do a bet, and so it means that if the Saudi Wealth Fund, could we look at what it means for future, Saudi money invested in tech? Are some, companies better off private, or is it something about the kind of the regulation and why the SEC should be involved?
Well, in relation to the Saudis, it was only a couple of days ago the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund stated they're investing $2 billion in Tesla, which is obviously a considerable amount of money, but nowhere near the $70 billion. And let's be frank, if the Saudis are in for $2 billion, other sovereign wealth funds around the world are probably going to be in a smaller position. Qatar or somewhere like Norway could be in a position for, say, $1.5 each. It's still a long distance away from the $70 billion. In relation to the SEC, I don't think Elon Musk is going to be silly enough to actually deliberately send out a misleading tweet to try and prop up the share price of his stock. He knows he'd be in a lot of hot water if he actually did that. So the money must be coming from somewhere, or at the very least, he must have solid intent behind his angle. In relation to the share price, I think some traders will be looking at this and going, if he is telling the truth, there's about a $40, $50 upside if you're taking a short position. On the downside, we could be looking at quite a substantial move to the downside. So in terms of risk management play, it wouldn't necessarily be an unwise idea to actually call Mr. Musk's bluff on this one.
David, what is the risk management play for the board, and particularly for James Murdoch? I know he was brought on late. He was a great source of discussion yesterday on Bloomberg Surveillance. Do you expect board members to resign over this if Mr. Musk doesn't get it going?
I think it's sending a very negative message. If you're turning around on Twitter, not the correct channels for this sort of thing, stating you're considering taking the company private on $400 a share and all secured funding, if you're sending out the message that you're not particularly a stable CEO. This is the sort of irrational behaviour you'd expect from a creative innovator or inventor type, which Mr. Musk is. But if you're the CEO, you must have a more stable head on your shoulders. And there's been a lot of controversy around this company in recent months. Mr. Musk could look to take a different role in the company potentially, more focusing on the innovation and technology, and possibly look to have someone else for the day-to-day management. But from what I hear, he does like to be in control.